What's up guys, Dakota Perez here, and today I want to talk to you about something that was brought up to me by my friend So Much Black, and that subject is bespoke fashion. Now before we get into the conversation, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and turn on that bell notification so you get notified as soon as I upload videos every single week, and let's jump right in. So what exactly is bespoke fashion? Well, bespoke is this way of manufacturing fashion, essentially. What it is completely customized garments, meaning that there are zero patterns whatsoever that are used in order to make these. A tailor will take some custom measurements of all different parts of your body, and then typically they'll end up making you a very custom suit. Now, where does bespoke fashion come from? Well, it was popularized in London. In particular, Savile Row. This is an area where there was a lot of tailors. Back in the early 1800s is, I think, where it originally started. And if you think about it, back in the day, this is kind of how people had to make clothes. There was no mass manufacturing, so a lot of it was very custom. Throughout the years, with advancements in technologies, it became less popular, but there was a resurgence in the 90s with a few different designers in particular. However, now it is a semi-thriving type of fashion that is popular, sort of. It's kind of popular in London, and it's also semi-popular in Hong Kong. Hong Kong has a very large suit culture there, and they have been very well known from the early 1900s up until today for making very high quality suits and doing a very fast turnaround and creating them for people too, in terms of custom suits. So what makes bespoke fashion different from normal tailoring and made to wear clothes? So normal tailoring is just alterations to clothes that were already made, and then made to wear clothes are clothes that what the tailor does is they take your measurements and then they have pre-made suits, and they kind of get the size that's slightly larger than what you fit in, and then they customize it further in order for it to fit you better. So bespoke fashion is completely from scratch, cutting the pieces of fabric from the roll of fabric and then making the garments. There are zero patterns used in it, and it is ultra customized and super form fitting, and the way it would rest on you is even more custom and more for your fitting than something that would be tailored. As of today, there are not that many brands out there that do this. Like I said, there's some tailors that are in Savile Row, and it's semi-popular in London and in Hong Kong. But in terms of the Americas or in other parts of Europe, I haven't read too much on specific tailors. Now, that's not to say that there are none at all. I'm sure that there are some, and there's a few brands online that specialize in them. If you're interested in checking them out, I will link them in the description down below. I didn't do that much research in them, so I can't vouch for quality or anything in terms of how the clothes will be or what styles. For the most part, you only see this in formal menswear, meaning suits, button-up shirts, slacks, those kinds of things. So I wanted to make this video discussing bespoke fashion because it's something that's sort of a niche community, almost like the community of raw denim people. Like the way that they're into it is similar to how people are into bespoke fashion. In my opinion, the best way to get into bespoke fashion, if you're not wanting to pay the higher price points of getting your own custom garment and going through the process working with people, if you're sort of just like a shy person, you want to experiment with it yourself, buy yourself some fabric and practice making garments from scratch. The best way for you to try to do this is to find a piece of garment that fits you very well and is a silhouette that you enjoy, and then taking it apart with a seam ripper and then tracing that outline and getting sort of a pattern outline onto your piece of fabric by using a different piece of clothing. Now, technically that's not bespoke. Once you get better and teach yourself how to make garments, then you can take your custom measurements and then apply that into pattern making. But pattern making is a whole different video. If you guys are interested in seeing something like that, then let me know in the comments down below and we can do an overview of that completely and maybe a tutorial. I think that honestly, in terms of limitations of bespoke fashion, I think it's best to do it DIY, especially if you're into techwear. I don't ever see any company ever coming out doing some techwear bespoke fashion, at least anytime soon. The closest thing that I can think of that we have is probably Rose and X, and that is technically not bespoke because they are pre-made silhouettes, and I'm pretty sure that they just kind of size up or size down with some of the measurements that are already created, but that's really close to bespoke fashion. So other than that, there's nothing that I can think of in the techwear world. And also there's limitations with production, meaning there's very specified machines and processes that are used in order to make techwear clothes, like seam taping and other methods of technical garments that are highly advanced and require very large industrial machinery. Now, you can DIY a lot of this yourself, except it's going to be very difficult and it's going to be a lot of trial and error, and honestly, practicing that kind of thing with some of the garments and fabrics that are considered techwear would be extremely expensive, I think, because honestly, if you're first getting into it, you're gonna have to try it multiple times, and that means you're gonna be wasting some of the fabric. So if you're happening to buy some shoulder fabric or something that was surplus that does exist on the outdoors fabric material websites, then you're probably gonna be wasting some of it because of your errors. So I think that it's best to test this with some cheaper cloth first, get into garment making, and then explore this world. I want to know what you guys think about this idea in the techwear world, because honestly, I think it would be really, really cool. There's all different variations and sizes that every person is, and honestly, fast fashion probably fits most people the worst, and then higher fashion and nicer garments will fit better, and they generally have cooler and better silhouettes and articulation and things like that. But even then, people have to kind of steer towards certain brands that fit their personal bodies better. I think that it seems like it would be an awesome thing for techwear, but almost not feasible just in terms of the technology that we have today. But in terms of bespoke fashion in the 21st century, there are some tailors that are using some digital pattern making programs and machines that can help them with making the patterns faster. So perhaps in the future, if the market grows for techwear, we will see a really cool bespoke techwear brand. I just wanted to talk to you guys about this subject because it's really interesting to me, this sect of fashion in particular. It's basically the haute couture for men's, if you think about it. Haute couture meaning the custom dresses that are made specifically by very specific houses of fashion in France. It's really weird how France has that kind of dictatorship on what they can call certain things. They have cognac made in Cognac, France, which is just brandy. They have champagne from Champagne, France, which is just white sparkling wine, but they definitely love their special versions of things, and this is like the male version of it, essentially. Haute couture is very popular in spheres of women who are into high fashion and very wealthy folks and posh folks, and the same goes for bespoke fashion. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about bespoke fashion and whether or not you'd be willing to purchase something from a company that does make some custom clothes very specific to your body. And I would also like to see some discussion on techwear and bespoke fashion, because I think that would be a very interesting route. The best thing we have right now is probably Rose and X and the DIY route. I just think that this is super, super interesting. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you want to see more videos like this every single week, then hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you get notified every single Wednesday when I upload a new video. And until next time, stay Gucci.